Welcome back to The Art of Placemaking. I'm Patrick Ahearn. Today we have the opportunity to talk with Henry Stephenson, architect as well, member of the Tisbury Planning Board, and also on the task force of the island plan. Welcome. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to the island.
Well, like a lot of people, I used to come up to the island in the summers. And all through the 90s I was here, a regular summer visitor, and increasingly did not want to go back.
I can
And so we began to contrive to stay here longer and longer, and finally by around 2001, Holly, my wife, and I managed to get a little house over here in Vineyard Haven and plugged ourselves in here.
But rumor has it that you lived on another island, though.
Oh yes, I lived on
Staten
another
Island,
island,
right?
Staten Island in New York, which, just for the record, is roughly the same size as Martha's Vineyard. Has a ferry.
Has a bridge, though.
Has a bridge. You better watch out for that.
Right.
And as we were saying earlier, it was kind of the Martha's Vineyard of the 19th century. Well, anyway, it's something of a cautionary tale, because Staten Island used to be an island of fishermen and farmers, and people come out for the city in the summertime and relax, and some people built mansions and some built bungalows. But it has a population of 450,000 people now. And so though it still has some nice things, it's really been largely ruined, and it's ruined by sort of the careless way that it was built up.
Right.
So do watch out for that.
Well, tell us a little bit about some of the thoughts, particularly on Vineyard Haven Harbor. I know it's one of the focal points of the task force and things that you've been thinking about.
Well, one of the things I noticed is that Vineyard Haven especially has very, very little access to its own waterfront. That this is an island with wonderful beaches and parks and things, but this particular town, if you look at it, you'll see that there's town beach at the end of Herring Creek Road, a couple small fragments of places where the public access to the water is available. The rest of it is not there. The rest of it is residents and guests only, and do not enter private property, no access, and so forth. And so access to the waterfront, being able to just move along the shore and enjoy the waterfront, seems to me an important part of what makes life on an island enjoyable. And here in Vineyard Haven, I think it's essential. This is a village that was built for people to walk around in. It was built before we had a lot of cars.
And here we're in one of the most interesting buildings on the waterfront. It's an active boat building shop.
Right.
And it's very special. And it would be nice to think that other people might be able to experience some of the things that are being done on the waterfront now.
Right. I think that there's no need to do a major reconstruction of the waterfront. That this is a terrific waterfront already, right? We don't have to invent anything here. It's unusual in that it's largely a beach. If you think about it, you almost never see a downtown on a beach.
Right.
This
Chicago.
Yeah, maybe. But otherwise, there's this long strand all the way along the shore past Owen Park. It'd be nice if people could sort of move along the shore and enjoy the waterfront. When you get to here, you have to thread your way through it a little differently. But we've actually already been talking to the steamship and the Black Dog to make a better connection through the back of the Black Dog's Tavern. So you come off, the steamship authority's got a little pedestrian way there.
Right, it does, at the edge of the parking.
It goes in the edge of the parking lot, and then it takes a right turn and heads for the Stop and Shop.
Right.
Why would you want to? So instead, we're talking about cutting through there to Beach Street Extension, where I parked my car today and walked to here, through a little trail through to here.
Testing it, see if
Just
it works.
test it out, make sure. But doing something like that, very small scale, low key, but find a way to make it a continuous walkway and get out to the causeway. And the causeway today has a bikeway from nowhere to nowhere. Right? If you start at Windsor
too, by the way.
If you live long enough to get to Windsor, then you can ride your bike up to the boat launch, and then you're back out on the road again.
Right.
So, well, there's a new drawbridge is being designed. Built. I think it's going to cost $30 million.
I heard.
Well, for that kind of money, we could include an extension of that bikeway, so it goes up over the bridge and also down and under the bridge, and we can, do the same thing on the other side, by the way, and provide, continuous access along that side of the shore. And if you come along on the other side, then if you look closely, down by the shore, there are these jetties and projections out in there that are just stabilizing the seawall and so forth. But it wouldn't be hard to level that out and have a pathway along that edge as well, so that you could go down, go fishing, and just hang out and see the water. This kind of waterfront, by the way, from here out to Packer Docks and all, this is a really neat looking small scale and industrial waterfront, and it's very picturesque all by itself. And you really don't want to disrupt that. You just want to make sure that it's part of the landscape, really.
Right, and that people could experience it, but not necessarily interrupt it.
Exactly.
Keep the activities that are here and keep them exciting
Yeah.
and interesting for everyone to experience.
Yeah, exactly. And find a way to thread your way, if you're the public, thread your way through here and out onto the causeway without disrupting all that, but somehow being able to see it and appreciate it. And I think if you can see it and appreciate it, it serves these businesses as well, because I think they get support for that.
They do. People get to see, well, gee, I can't believe this is really how they build a boat.
Right, it's fascinating.
It's not the school trip to the boatyard.
That's
it's
right.
The kind of thing you go by every day and gee, look at that boat.
Get up close and see
I can't
this.
believe that they still
This
make
is
it.
very rare. It's almost unimaginable that you could actually get off the boat, walk down here, watch some guys building a boat.
It's spectacular.
Yeah.
It's spectacular.
Yeah. So if we're going to rebuild the drawbridge
Anyway,
then we could create access along to the shore. I understand that seawall is old and needs rebuilding. If the state wants to do that, can't we reshape it so that it also has a pedestrian platform on the other side down near the water that you can move along? And then you'd have a pretty well continuous access way all around the whole all the way around the causeway and back.
Terrific.
So that'd be a nice thing. And essentially piggyback onto major projects that the state might be doing anyway. Right? Also, the state, I understand we want to have to do some dredging in the harbor again. And there's a question of where to put the spoils, which is sand.
Which bring it over there.
Right. So
beach.
Can we improve the beach with that, or the beaches up along past Owen Little
Park,
and Owen Park and up that way? And take those opportunities to create more public space along the shore. So that would be the strategy, would be to piggyback onto.
And it doesn't sound that complicated. It doesn't sound like
it's not complicated.
That
it is. What is complicated is coordinating different elements into one plan. So you have to deal with people who are focused on building a drawbridge to somehow integrate into those plans a pedestrian access way and stuff like that.
And who designed the drawbridge? The state? Was that a state?
Yeah, that's a state project. And there's a drawbridge committee, and you can be sure that I'll stick with that committee and see what we can do. But those are opportunities. You don't always win those. But that's, I think, is a way you can do that. At the end of the day, you'll have a kind of pedestrian pathway, very, very modest but continuous, all along this shore and along what I think is one of the prettiest little harbors in North America. Is Vineyard Haven Harbor. It'd be a nice thing.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. I really like that a lot. Well, I think this has been a terrific conversation. There's a lot of things that you brought out that we need to all think about. And I look forward to your studies. I think I'll come in and try to help out a little bit as I can.
Use all the help we could get.
I'll be there, and thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's been terrific.
It was nice to talk to you, really.
Okay, thank you.